Welcome back to Press E, the game. No, it's Welcome back to Tran Wins Siralim Ultimate. This version is 0.9.5. The version that I was playing before was 0.8.10, and I'll be recording this right before its upload on Monday. One of the things to know is that the Jester in this beta version of the game has been removed, meaning like I can still talk to him, but I can't buy anything from his last 2 pages of the store. Let's see if the things I bought are still there. There's White Rat. Yes, okay. So the last 2 pages of the store were the only ones that I had not collected in the game, and since it's very nicely organized, I'm assuming they weren't dropping anywhere in my realm depth. So if you're watching this before your game has been patched, feel free to run over to the Jester and buy up his stuff. Now, we're about to embark on Realm Depth 415, and that is special because it has Nether Boss Inner Darkness. When you finish all the Nether bosses for the second time, you are able to unlock guilds. So here we can see that in this order, we fought Hydranox. This is the first time we fought him, then the second time we fought him, then we fought Sira, first time and second time. Now we're going to fight the Shadow, the Nether boss here, and so we will unlock his second trait item. This pretty much it lets you keep track of when you're about to hit the next region. One of the big changes in this patch is Regalis has been completely reworked to not make her quite so powerful. She can still do her thing, but it's not as beefy as it was. At the start of battle, your other creatures with the same class as this creature share their innate trait with the creatures adjacent to them. This trait does not stack. Alright, so let's break this one down. First off, since she's a life character, any life characters in the party will share their trait to the ones next to them. So let's say targeting this guy right here. She's gonna target all of them, but we'll target the Siege Automaton in the second slot. He will give his Battle from Within to the Angelic Voidlord, as well as the Forsaken Swamp Dweller. So this is pretty much how this works now, rather than sharing everybody willy-nilly across the board. So this will greatly hurt my build, and probably I would have wagered a lot of other players' builds as well, but I managed to get a lot of mileage out of it because I went from Realm Depth 245 to now using this build. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move on to Realm Instability Level 5 Random Realm. Although I've been nerfed, we're still fairly strong. So let's go and take a look at the enemy with our current power level. So we're at about 10 million hit points right now. The enemy, comparatively, has 80 or 90,000 hit points. However, one of the big other changes that affects me is, actually there's two effects. Divisional Morality has been reworked so that it no longer affects indirect damage. So it says deals additional damage with attacks and spells. Alright, that's not so hot for me. I will point out that I do like the new wording, that it makes more clear. It says equal to its current health minus the target's current health, meaning if I have less hit points than the other guy, I will not be doing extra damage. Otherwise, you could have, for example, 1 hit point man, kill everybody. One of the other nerfs is Battle from Within. It no longer clears the room from the get-go, assuming you had enough health to do that. At the start of the creature's turn, it deals damage to enemies equal to 25% of its missing health. Well, I'm not missing any health to begin with, so he does not actually get to do any damage to anybody. Alright, let's take a look at these trait sharing abilities. See, he's got Shadow Bulwark from the Angelic Voidlord on the left, and Darkness Surrounding from the Forsaken Swamp Dweller on the right, and that is it. See, those are only 2, and then it went on to the artifact. Oh, it said Veteran's Visor. I'm probably going to rename all my artifacts to just the trait later. Let's go ahead and clear out these guys. Alright, so as an astrologer, which I'm just doing for the goblet, and get all those abilities. I can actually turn off those 0 things. Alright, so Righteous Storm. I was using that because I needed something with a lot of charges. can probably just punch him, right? Or you're just gonna miss, aren't you? Yeah. Typically, Sparktails won't do much to harm you unless you lash out at them first, in which case you receive the beating of a lifetime. Fight me! Well, let's see how tough his guys are. He is default level 6093, default being the level for this realm, I believe. And he's got 1.6 million health. Every Rhodian master that has been killed, it raises the hit points of his monsters next time. So the next time I fight him, he'll be actually stronger than the first time. I don't think that's really necessary, considering you always have to fight him at a higher realm depth. I'm not generally a fan of when the player gets weaker. Okay, that looks like it's everything. Let's head on in. Ah yes, back to the tried and true defeat your inner demons fight. No journey would be complete without one. Time to get on with it. You order your creatures to attack their emotions. The reason why he's doing so much damage is because he's next to the Koloss Firebrand, which allows him to do 10 million extra hit point damage. As a reward for defeating your inner darkness for the second time, you can now take on several new projects to establish guilds in your kingdom. Alright, we know what that is. So let's take a look at these guilds. First off, you can upgrade the Goblet of Trials so that you can complete it with 2 different specializations instead of just 1. I'm not too worried about that because the builds I have are very general purpose. They're not necessarily catered towards any one build. Speaking of which, I should probably reset my character specs. Many of the character traits have been retooled to have perhaps more ranks, and... oh, here we go, here's the spam. Okay, so we will go ahead and get the Life Guild because my current party is set up for life. Collect the required items from Realm and return to Everett when you're finished. And we'll get Chaos because Chaos tends to be attacking stuff, and that was a large part of what I was doing in the very beginning of the game. I guess we will try the Sorcery Guild. Alright, so we're working on 3 different guilds at the same time. And here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna go and disband this team, which has lasted us, by the way, from round 241 to 414. That's an incredible streak right there. We're now going to go on to a new army. So let's swap out with one I've already set up for the next team. And this group has not yet had merges, but it's alright. Oh, and here's my list of artifacts. There's still some equipped by my other characters, in fact. This one's called Azaral's Agony because this is what I would switch to if I wanted to fight him. Real quick, we'll just rifle through these items quickly before I end up renaming them all to something very boring. So for example, this is called Eastwind. I will probably call this Pandemonium Rebirth later. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just change all of these things into a basic name. For example, Frieden's Feint, this is because he starts off the battle with Blighted and you can only heal him for damage. That is, like, if you hit him with a fireball, it does nothing, but if you heal him with a heal spell, it heals him. Well, Sorcery Transformation turns all your fireballs into healing fireballs. Gonfurian's Grievance allows me to add 2 extra debuffs, which are randomized, so if I am using a Defiler trait, that gives you a random 3, and maybe you'll end up with 2 that will overlap each other. So you still, this is just the bare minimum. You'll probably want something else besides just Stricken. But that being said, you can get other Pit Wraiths. This is what this comes from. Pit Wraith. Let's see, so we've got the items we just unequipped. A lot of these things I only use in one build and then put down in the arsenal. Tenebris, he starts the battle off with invisibility. Hymn of Guile gets rid of that. We're gonna equip this guy. We're gonna give him the Diabolic Link. The Pit Guard is going to equip the thing with the Hate and Other Triumphs. The Angelic Void Lord is going to wield my Helm of Harmony. You can see that this helmet is named Spell Tap. So I had made a mistake on my analysis on my first build of Regalis. Channeling actually affects more than just the character it's on. So, although it says this creature can't cast spells manually, it follows up with your creatures have 5% more attack, intelligence, speed, defense, or health for each non-ethereal chaos, sorcery, nature, delta, or life spell gem this creature has equipped. So let's go start fusing my party. Look for the stars. Alright, so first off, we're going to fuse the Lost with the Apis Protector. So this will result in, hopefully, if everything applies correctly, he'll be adjacent and he'll apply a resistance to debuff to everybody in the team. But even if the Regalis thing is not going to work 100% with the Lost, at the very least, he can share that debuff resistance with everybody. Next, we're going to combine our Pitworm Tunneler with our Unguided Psychic. Because Battle from Within is no longer as easy as it was to use before, we will instead use Live to Labor. Additionally, a couple of the traits are broken in the new patch, including Temperance, which allowed me to have speed. So we're just going to lean into the idea of not having speed, and then we can certainly go first. After you, right? This will result in the enemy suffering a large amount of damage. In the third row would be the Pit Guard, but he's already fused. We're keeping him. The Angelic Void Lord is taking a change of pace as well. Although his skill isn't shared completely, it is shared between him and 2 others, so that's half my team that can avoid or ignore indirect damage. I was really thinking about replacing with the Endurance Aura ability though. That might still come to pass. We're going to combine him with the Emerald Paragon. Now the Ruby Paragon gives everybody 100% more life, which results in a lot more stats for me. However, this gives me straight up, it says 50% more damage, but in some tests that I did, it felt more like 100% more damage. We'll give him this nice gold color. Finally, we're going to combine one of our mini Forsaken Swamp Dwellers with an Irantha Ofen. Solace is very useful for getting stat bonuses out of my gems. I guess this is probably the best look for you. And through the magic of video editing, you don't have to wait for me to finish my projects. We'll just go ahead and get this done right away. You just established your first guild. Guilds allow you to take on bounties to hunt for false gods, which are some of the most powerful enemies you'll encounter in all of Rhodia. After you defeat a false god, you'll earn reputation with your guild. As your reputation level with your guild increases, you'll gain access to new items in the guild shop. False gods also drop anointments when they are defeated. Anointments can be used to grant you access to perks from other specializations. For more information on guilds, false gods, and anointments, please see the Guilds and False Gods section of the Codex. Guilds, false gods, and anointments. After you defeat each nether boss twice, you'll be able to take on several new projects that allow you to establish guilds in your castle. You can take on bounties for these guilds to increase your reputation and unlock new creatures, spells, decorations, and more. There are 5 different guilds for you to unlock, one for each of the 5 classes: Chaos, Death, Life, Nature, and Sorcery. You can take on bounties to fight false gods for your guilds to increase your reputation with them. As your reputation level increases with the guild, you unlock the ability to purchase new creatures, spells, and decorations from them. False gods are some of the most powerful enemies in all of Rhodia. In order to battle a false god, you must first take on a bounty at a guild. The guild will tell you what realm depth the false god can be found at. Once you reach the required realm depth, you must defeat all the enemies in that realm. Up to 5 enemies will drop runes, which can be used to either strengthen or weaken the false god. False gods drop better rewards and grant additional reputation with your guilds based on how powerful they are. After you defeat the enemies in the realm, a portal will appear that leads to the false god domain. If you manage to defeat a false god, you'll receive a large amount of treasure reputation with your guild of choice and the ability to choose an anointment. After you defeat a false god, you'll be able to choose from several different anointments to keep. Anointments allow you to utilize perks from other specializations even if your character is of a different specialization. You can have up to 5 anointments equipped at a time. Normally, false gods will drop 3 anointments and you can choose to keep one of them. However, if you use runes that increase the false god's power, you will be rewarded with a larger pool of anointments to choose from. The Animator, Herbalist, and Royal specializations do not have any anointments that can be unlocked. In addition, some specializations perk do not have anointments associated with them. This false god... Okay, so these are... Alright, so these are the different false gods. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. Go and turn in our Chaos Guild and our Sorcery Guild. And we will go ahead and begin our Death and Nature. And might as well just throw in the Goblet of Trials while we're at it. Add decoration utilities. Life Guild. I went ahead and cleared out some space real quick. These may not be the... Well, they probably won't be the permanent locations that I'll be using. But for now, this doesn't look too bad setting it up like this. I had to clear out the audience room and the bedroom to do it, but that's fine. I know I have all this area down here to use, but I prefer to keep my stuff fairly compact. Welcome to the Life Guild. Here you can take on bounties to increase your reputation with the guild and unlock new items in our shop. Your level is 0. Well, thanks, game. Shop, show me the items, and of course I've not earned the right. I built your store. I built 2 competitor stores too, but of course they will all not have anything to do with me. Bounty. Seek out and defeat a false god to earn reputation with this guild. Okay, so I guess this is all the gods here. Alright, I was thinking that I was thinking maybe the specializations were linked to each class. So for example, maybe Paladin and Cleric were life, and Necromancer was death, but it looks like you can unlock specialization for anything. Let me check the other one just in case. Goes from Caliban to the Ancestor. Caliban to... Okay. Alright, so I'm thinking I will maybe want either Astrologer, because I'm having a lot of good usage out of this perk right here. Your creatures with the highest intelligence always cast their topmost spell gem that has at least 1 charge and isn't sealed at the end of their turn. And that's going to be the Lost. He has such an incredible amount of stats. Well, compared to everybody else. At least it was until I added Diabolic Link. But he outclassed everybody in stats. So I've stuck the Channeling Gem on him. This means that he can't cast anything manually. The reason why I stick this Channeling Gem on him is because in doing so gives me the best stat growth for the entire team. It costs him his ability, but gives the team more usability. Let's go ahead and select a god. And it's going to either be the Hell Knight for his Firestorm spell, or the Astrologer for the cast immediate spell. I think we're going to go with Astrologer. Hydranox once lived deep in the oceans of Rhodia before it stumbled upon the Nether Orb of Sorcery. The Nether Orb transformed Hydranox into a massive sentient menace, and now it stalks the earth in search of prey. Defeating this false god can grant you anointments from the following specializations: Astrologer, Doombringer, and Spellweaver. Well, since this is a sorcery thing, we'll do this from sorcery. I don't think it actually matters, but it's kind of quaint. You've taken on a bounty to hunt down the false god Hydranox. You will find them at Realm Depth 421. Welcome back, Tran. It seems you're ready to finalize the project. Project completed, Death Guild. I know it looks like I didn't leave, that's just more editing to make it smooth, so I can finish all the castle stuff in one go. You unlock the Death Guild. And the Nature Guild. Decorations, add decoration, utilities, and let's go and slap these down. Let's see, Death Guild and what was it? I don't even remember. Nature. Alright, we'll move these at a later time. And we completed the Goblet of Trials. You are now able to fulfill the Goblet of Trials requirements with 2 specializations instead of 1. Is there more? Yeah, there is more. Okay. We are now up to Realm Depth 421. On the right side, you can see False God Hydranox. I have animations off. Maybe I should turn them on for recording purposes. Okay. Boss God is immune to attack damage. Yeah, let's do that. We'll turn animations and all the text on when I get to the god. But for now, I think leaving damage alone is fine. Now, it looks like my health is draining, but actually what's happening is my characters are getting more life, max health. So, for example, it says Pitworm Tunneler gained 21.56 million max health. So I suppose Battle from Within following up that would work. Alright, let's see here. Boss God loses 50% less stats? Yeah, I'm not even doing that kind of thing. I know there are other rune stones. The game says you're limited to 5, but I want to see if I can drop more, because the game currently does that with the phylactery when it says kill a monster and drop it off at the phylactery. Boss God does immune to attack damage. I think we already have that, but let's do that again. Can I Taco display? Yeah, I mean, sure. So that's 3 of them, and I think I see 2 runes on the floor. So we'll see if they can actually drop more than 5 runes. Yeah, more than 5 runes. Now, you're probably supposed to be limited to 5, but I don't care. If there's things I can do to lessen the grind, let's do it. Besides, it makes the boss harder anyways. Let's run over the candle, see if we can summon more stuff. I don't know what that hand is yet. It might be the god. I'm actually working on maxing out my golem, which was on page 19. Alright, I will probably show this segment during my golem killing spree, but these are my latest notes for how I developed Generation 6 of the Regalis build. I gave spell tap a 131% increase in stat rating. Of course, order and formation, and even who owns the item or who's adjacent to this person all matter. So these numbers you can generally ignore as far as specifics go, but of course the higher the better. So for example, these are my notes for the traits. Spent a lot of time editing this because I knew I'd be recording about it. I wanted to make it look legible. And then this is how I calculate what a character is going to be. So for example, if I wanted to make a new Regalis with an Irantha Ofen, she would have a 14 base attack. So this is how I figure out who's going to merge with who. This is my Tran 8.10 formation. So this is the original team. And if we want to look in the new patch version at a level 100 battle, these are their stats. They've been nerfed to about 220,000 hit points. And the reason I'm mentioning this is, this gives us a baseline for what the patch did to them, and then what my new build works with. And if we take a look at the new group, instead of having 200,000 hit points, they have roughly 7 million hit points. I'd be curious to know what kind of hit points you would get playing version 8.10 with this setup. The Lost and Apis Protector, Pit Worm, Unguided Psychic, Pit Guard, Rude Paragon, Angelic Void Lord, Emerald Paragon, Forsaken Swamp Dweller, Irantha Ofen, and Regalis, Omnipotent Deity. These are the traits each one has, so this would tell you what's in their equipment slot. So the Lost is holding my channeling item, even though he would be my best intelligence person, as I mentioned before. For whatever reason, channeling on him gives me way more stats than channeling on anyone else. In fact, I can show you that below. So I just sort of slapped these down. These two I can swap with anything else I want. Hate Not the Triumphs and Nature Transformations. Spell tap really leverages the channeling trait. So without channeling, spell tap is kind of pointless for purposes of boosting my hit points. This was something I threw in, and it made a monumental change in my character's hit points. In fact, we can look at that now. So this was the first layout that I set up, and my rough stat approximation is 856,000 points. And as I start shuffling them around, we go up to about 1.2 million. And then I settle on 7 later, which is 1.6 million. So these are the different trials. And finally I settled on 7. So this is version A, where I start equipping people. And when I put channeling on Regalis, who has the lowest intelligence score, so this actually gives me a substantial boost to my stats, 357%, which is, I believe, higher than what I get from putting it on the Lost. The catch is, Regalis comes with her own ultimate spell, Seduction, which allows me to drain enemy of 25% of their stats. At least with this version of the game, the trait items were not as powerful as the spell tap channeling combo, because I was at 19 million with just channeling and spell tap. With just Diabolic Link and Diabolic Cord, I'm at 3 million. But again, the trait sharing was somewhat nerfed, as well as racial bonuses. So my final setup is Lost, Tunneler, Pit Guard, Void Lord, Swamp Dweller, Regalis. Then with equipment items of channeling and spell tap, which are the only real big things that matter where they go. Diabolic Link, Master, Diabolic Cord, and these two things doesn't really matter where I put them, as long as I have them. If you want to build your own team, or this is the team I came up with, please feel free to use it, and more importantly, please feel free to improve upon it and share your findings. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Zero Earth. Thank you very much. Alright, I think that's all of them. Okay, let's start taking with these runes. Boss God starts at the top? Sure. Boss God always deals critical damage, sure. Oh. Alright. So lame. I can handle it, let me. Okay, let's turn on all the battle text. And battle animations. We'll even turn on values of 0. Upon your approach, Hydranox's 5 heads snap to attention, measuring the worth of you and your creatures. Its many eyes glow red, serving as the only warning of this massive beast's intent before it strikes. Well, actually, they look blue to me. They still look blue to me. Now, my Apis Protector only protects the first and second characters, so it's not working the way I thought it would. But that could also be a bug. Let's take a look at you. So there's your torso, body of Hydranox. The body grants each head a random buff and removes a random debuff. This head attacks each enemy. This head attacks each enemy. This head grants its other heads 20% attack and intelligence. This head casts spells on enemies, and this head casts spells on enemies. Okay, so let's pop this one first. Yeah, it's the top one. Am I allowed to attack that? Well, it's invisible right now. Oh. He can't, because his ability prevents him from... Okay, I mean, sure, let's just attack. Alright, so we should... I have masked this spell, and is there anything that I have on me that I really want? Not really. I think I'd be okay doing a master spell. Alright, let's do it. And now let's go ahead and throw a Death Blossom on you. Alright, well I think I could have afforded a few more runes. You defeated Hydranox. You gained 4,395 reputation with the Sorcery Guild. Your reputation level with the Sorcery Guild is now 4. Check out the guild's shop to purchase new items. Another orbs of sorcery appear. Approach it to claim your reward. Okay. So I get to choose any one of these to be an extra perk. After your creature's on heal, that Anchor Management was actually really powerful from Doombringer. I remember that. This might work. Your 3% creatures, your 3 creatures with the highest intelligence don't consume charges when they cast spells. Probably what I'm looking for. I don't know, I'm not really... We'll do this because it might help me clear out maps faster. I'm going for mostly just map clears right now. I'll worry about fine-tuning for bosses later. But I need to focus on my income level. In addition to your new anointment, you've earned a heaping supply of treasure. Well, I'll be the judge of that. Okay, I guess that is a lot. Another orb of sorcery pulsates vibrantly. I am disappointed that I was limited to 5 runes, though. That is actually super disappointing to me. You completed the realm quest. You gained 200 favor with Regalis, goddess of poison. You earned some treasure. Let's teleport back to the sanctuary. Okay. If we take a look at my prophecies, I have to defeat Torun, god of anger. So let's compare. Well, he is a god. Let's compare the god to the false god. The reason I'm mentioning this is probably I don't really want to do this right now though, because if you run a god forge, it consumes the mana, or I could summon a Torun. Basically, I feel like I'm wasting Torun mana by attacking him again. It cost me 100 emblems. If I had the emblems, I would totally buy a Torun. So what happens is you get the upgrade listed on the top right, so Regalis would have a 60% extra critical damage. I think that the only emblems I have are for Eolin. I think that's it. I mean, I don't know how I have that many, but apparently I do. So I could get a 25% speed, but I don't really have a lot of speed anyways as it is. Maybe I should summon a Torun, just so that I have spare Toruns. I don't know. Alright, let's summon another Torun. I already have a Torun, but If I'm about to fight him again, I might as well summon another one. I summoned a new Torun. Alright. But yes, that's how empowering works. I just haven't empowered because I'm saving my mana. Alright, now that I have used up my mana for a Torun, let's go ahead and battle him. So we're going to insert one of my several keys. I'm going to go up to Torun, God of Anger. And we're going to hit him at level 2,500. Now remember that the Fox God I was fighting was at level 6,000. But that being said, my characters are level 4,000. Here, my characters will only be level 100, so that is the difference. Okay, I figured I would end the episode with fighting Torun. It was kind of a nice touch that my prophecy card said, fight Torun.
Get ready for the beating of a lifetime, motherfucker. I've been waiting to shove my non-existent foot up your ass since the day you were born.
Ah, Torun, never change. Alright, so apparently he wiped out everybody that did not have Shadow Borg. Hey, they're not fused anymore, so the patch did adjust that where the bosses will the avatars will no longer be fused if you approach after doing a realm instability level. Alright, so let's take a look. Why did my people just die? Pitworm Tunneler took 29 million damage. It doesn't... I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much. I just need to finish him off. Wow. That was amazing. Back from the dead, it just means I beat you down one more time. And before I forget, let's go ahead and head over to the shop and see what we can buy. Oh wow, okay, so I can use essence, not a specific currency for the sorcery shop. That's good. So I can get some new creatures. These are apparently creatures. Alright, that's kind of cool. It'll take me some time, of course, to go through all these, leveling them up. I am very disappointed I can't do the rune thing, though. Alright, that should be enough content for episode 30. Thank you very much for watching Tran wins Siralim Ultimate. If there's enough interest, I will record our creatures fighting each of the false gods. I'll see you next time.